Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Gurumedeva Sarvakarishu Sarvadam Ganganapate Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwaraha. Guru Deva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 16th of April 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Paramatma Bhagavan residing in the heart of every single being. We're continuing to examine verse number 77 of Shri Vivekchudamani. And in that, I just want to cover some points so that that verse is very clear, because the Vivekchudamani is a scripture written by Adi Jagat Guru Shankaracharya Ji, giving us this extraordinary vision of the Atman and the Brahman, that they are one, and how to realize that, what is needed to realize that. In many pieces come into the picture. I just want to make sure we are clear about some of the key points in Vedanta in general. I want to just do a quick review of some of them, and then we'll kind of go from there. Point number one, Sharira Traya. Sharira Traya means the three bodies. If somebody asks us from Vedanta point of view, how many bodies do we have? Three bodies. The Stula Sharira is the gross body. The Sukshma Sharira is the subtle body, which comprises of mind, intellect, senses, and vital airs. And the Karana Sharira is the causal body, representing deep sleep and latent impressions, equated with avidya. So there's three bodies. There's physical body, then there's a subtle body, and there's a causal body, Karana Sharira. There's also Panchkosh, 5 koshas, right? So another way to put those three bodies in another framework, that is called Panchakosha. Annamaya Kosha, the food sheath, physical body. Pranmaya Kosha, vital air sheath. Sheath, S-H-E-A-T-H, meaning layer. Manomaya Kosha, mental sheath. Vignanmaya Kosha, intellectual sheath. Anandamaya Kosha, the bliss sheath associated with the causal body and deep sleep. The Atma is the witness, or the Sakshi, distinct from these layers, from all of these different layers. Right? So when one realizes the Atma Tattva, all 5 of these are not in one's perception as such. There's no identification with them. That's not who I am. Who I am is the Atma Tattva, Brahma Tattva, different from all of these different layers. These are layers of Prakriti, and they come and go, they keep changing. That's not actually who I am. So Atmagnani, one who has Atmic realization, sees the Atman itself, what it actually is, as opposed to getting lost inside these 5 sheets. Now, in the path of liberation meaning moksha is obtained, it is possible through the Gnan Marg, where in the Vivekchudamani there's a Guru Shishya conversation, and the Guru is one who is Shotriya. Shotriya is learned in the scriptures, and Brahmanishta, firmly established in the realization of Brahman. These are the real Gurus. We are all doing sadhana together, which is fine, but those who are fully awakened and fully enlightened, they are Shotriya, meaning they can take the scriptures and explain them, which is fine. But the other important quality is Brahmanishta, firmly established in the realization of Brahman. Such an individual can be a real Guru in the sense of a Sadguru, one who is able to awaken in the others this highest of realization, because the individual has that realization, right? So this is called grace or krupa. Krupa of the Guru is vital, and it is actually that same Brahma Tattva, Parabrahma Tattva, functioning through the Guru for the Kalyanam, for the benefit of the Sansara and the people in the world, right? These are basic ideas. Now there's also something called Sadhan Chatushtaya, 4-fold qualifications. I think we talked about these at the very beginning of Vivekchudamani several years back. Just want to make sure they're clear in our mind. What are the 4-fold qualifications to realize the Atma Tattva? Well, the Vivekchudamani talks about the adhikari. Adhikari means one who is qualified for Brahma Vidya, one who can actually realize the Brahma Vidya. These are the fourfold qualifications. One is Viveka, discrimination between real and ephemeral, real versus unreal. This is Viveka. Second quality is dispassion, Vairagyam, dispassion towards worldly and heavenly pleasures. So there's this worldly pleasures. As bhakti increases, jnana increases, as dhyan increases, the experience of transcendental worlds may happen also. It will happen. You see, so that is at a higher level. But even Vairagya towards all of them, that is the definition of Vairagya given in Vivekchudamani. That is the second qualification. The third qualification is called Shat Sampati, the 6 treasures or the 6 virtues. What are they? In the third qualification, there's 6 parts. That is Sham, Dam, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, and Samadhan. These are 6 components or 6 qualities in that third qualification. Alright, so Sham means tranquility of the mind. Dhamma means control of the senses. Uparati means cessation from worldly activities or withdrawal, meaning not getting lost and entangled inside the worldly activities. That is called Uparati. Then Titiksha, that is called forbearance or endurance. This verse comes in the Gita also. Tremendous amount of mental forbearance is needed while we're living in the sansar. That is called Titiksha. Then Shraddha, that is faith. We talked about Shraddha before with regards to the verse 39 of the Gita, chapter 4. So faith, Shraddha means that this is correct. This path is correct. What Shankaracharya ji has taught, what Sri Krishna has taught is correct, right? So that kind of Shraddha opens up. And the 6th Sampati, their 6th treasure is Samadhan, deep concentration, mental composure. Samadhan is satisfaction. Where there is composure, there is concentration, there is a great deal of internal energetic stability. That is Samadhan. So now that's the third qualification. And the fourth qualification is Mumukshutvam, which is an internal learning which is an intense yearning for liberation. The wanting to be liberated. Shuddha Mumukshu. That is called a Shuddha Mumukshu, Tivra Mumukshutvam. Most people don't have anywhere near this. That's why nobody gets liberated. Mumukshutva nahi. There's a problem in one of these 4. If there's even a problem in any one of them, liberation is not going to happen. You see, one will be drowning back into the sansar again. It's because the sansar is a cycle of rebirth again and again and again, and the jivatma drowns back inside there because of the lack of these 4, coming back into the womb of a mother of some species and getting born again and again and again. Right? So if you want way out of all of this thing, that is moksha, master these 4. That is Vivek, Vairagya, Shatasampatti, and Mumukshutvam. These are the 4 qualities, and they are called the fourfold qualification, Sadhan Chatushtaya. Fundamental concepts. Just wanted to do a quick review here before we go further into the Vivekchudamani. The method of inquiry. This is called Gnan Yoga. The yoga that is shown in Vivekchudamani is Gnan Yoga. It is a method of inquiry. And we're going to do some more online retreats on consciousness on this specifically. We're doing it in pieces here to kind of go through the Vivekchudamani, but we'll do like extensive seminars and series in the future sometime on all of this, right? So what is the first stage in the method of inquiry? Shravanam. That's what we're doing every day here. Shravan. You listen to different ideas from different places, from different scriptures. Hearing the Advaitic teachings, the Mahavakyas, of course, are there, Tattvamasi, etc. But listening to spiritual discourses is step 1. Step 2 is Mananam, reflection. Reflection upon these teachings removes intellectual doubts and establishes firm conviction called Nishchaya. So intellectual doubts are removed. All of them are removed. So that's not easy, but that needs to happen, right? So the doubts and questions, keep asking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Do the research, do the studies, whatever. Every doubt has to go. And from that, the Nishchay, the conviction is there that Brahman is there. This is a basic conviction. The conviction is that I am Atman, I am Brahman, I am not these small tendencies, and what I am, what I am not. What is God and what is this sansar, and what is, so all of those things become absolutely brimmingly clear inside the mind through the mananam process. The third stage is nididhyasanam. Nididhyasana is deep, sustained and one-pointed meditation on the truth of non-duality, leading to direct realization, aparoksha anubhuti. Our goal is aparoksha anubhuti, that I am Brahman. Anubhuti iski honi chahiye. To kaisi hoti hai? Through nididhyasana. Right? So again and again one goes through these teachings and holds on to them, lives them, thinks about them, holds on to them, moves through the day-to-day experience of the world. The world experience continues. The waking state goes into dream state, goes into deep sleep. We're awake again. But one is freed. The goal is to be freed from the bondages of these three states. That I am consciousness. I am not stuck inside anymore the entanglements of the Jagrat Avastha. बहुत कुछ आता है जागृत अवस्था में. So many people say so many things to us. Experiences come and go. Yes, that is there. It has a reality. It is called Vyavarika Satyam. We are all in that same reality, apparently, somehow, that Vyavarika Satyam. But that is, is to awaken out of that through this process of nididhyasana. And then what happens when we are awakened? That is called Jivan Mukti. Jivan Mukta, the state of Jivan Mukta. The culmination of this path is called Jivan Mukti, or living while liberated. Liberation while living. We're living, but we're completely liberated. There's no more binding inside the sansar. There's no more rag, dvesh, aham, mamatva. All those things are completely gone. Saintliness is there. It is a living liberation. And then the activity is done as seva, but the world, even though it is there, it's not really there. That's the interesting thing. But what we're seeing outside, the trees, the planets, the universes, the galaxies, whatever, वो एक दृष्टि से है at one stage. But when we are a Jivan Mukta, we realize, even though it is appearing to be there, that is not really there. That's not the reality. The reality is the Brahman, actually. Even Bhautik Akash, space, all the tattvas, these things, one bypasses all of that. You see, so when the time comes to leave the body, the soul, the Atma Tattva merges into Brahman. This is the basic idea. It doesn't come back inside the sansar ever again. It's permanently liberated out of the entire vortex of the sansar. So that is the goal here. Now, so the Vivekchudamani describes the characteristics of the Jivan Mukta who, having realized the identity with Brahman, lives in the world free from ego, attachment and suffering, while the body persists due to the residual prarabdha karma. So the prarabdha karma has been going on. So the body continues up to that point. Then the body just falls away. ये जो शरीर है ये तो हमारा स्वरूप है ही नहीं. This is a big mistake to think that body is me. So the body will live, and by the grace of God, that some sage's body is kept for longer period of time for the benefit of others, because the Jivan Mukta can leave the body. At the higher stage, they can just shed the body at any point. But the body continues to live based on the prarabdha karma, because karma that has begun to fructify, Fructify. Every karma we do obtains a fruit. But remember, to burn all the karmas together, one of the straightforward ways is to completely take the shelter of God, that I am completely yours and your wish is my prarabdha, nothing other than that. And when we are completely taking 100% Sharanagata Vatsal, Bhagavan ki Sharanagati, when we take it 100%, what do we have? All the karmas get burnt aside, and then the body, whatever remaining is still there, that is by the divine will to do certain activity in the sansar. So that is how this goes. Now the actions are spontaneous, they are desireless, and the welfare of the world, called loka, and they're desireless and for the welfare of the world. Yeah, so every action is taken for the benefit of the sansar of the world. Just one or two very quick things and we'll stop here. The Vivekchudamani employs a compelling blend of direct instruction, logical argumentation and analogies, drashtanta, and poetic imagery. So Vivekchudamani has all of these components within it. It has direct instruction, which Shankaracharya ji gives. It gives arguments, meaning it gives the reasons, logical arguments, the analogies are given, logical argumentation. It has analogies and it has poetic imagery also. So its dialogue format makes the profound teachings relatable. The systematic progression from diagnosis, meaning the adhyasa and avidya, to the means of viveka, sadhan chatushtay guru upasanadam, guru upasana, that the approaching the guru, and the role, and the goal ultimately, Atmagnan, Moksha, Jivan Mukti, it provides a clear roadmap to the aspirant. So the entire roadmap to reach Jivan Mukti is completely inside Vivekchudamani. So this is what we're going to focus on. I'm going to try my best not to divert into too many other things. It's all one ultimately, but I want to go through the whole Vivekchudamani every single day, and that is our goal here. So verse 77, we're going to dive into that in more detail. And then we will go through it sequentially. I'll try to it'll take me at least a week or so, week and a half, maybe 10 days to cover each verse. Because you could spend a whole year, 2 years on the analysis of these verses. I mean, there's no end to any of that, but we have to put some boundary around it so that we can capture its really good quality, keep these foundational ideas in mind, and continue to travel this path further. And in doing so, the enlightened state will eventually come about. That is our goal. So let's stop here from now. Om Divalingaya Nama, Urdhvalingaya Nama, Anandalingaya Nama, Dwadash Jyotirlingaya Nama, Namo Namaha, Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche, Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive, Sarvartha Sadike, Sharanyatrambike Gauri, Narayani Namostate, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu, Mahalakshmi Rupena Samsita, Namaste. Namaste, Namo Namaha, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu.